Both from back. I got another one for y'all. Uh, we're gonna be talking about Moses. So, what I will tell y'all is that you gotta ask yourself. It's a lot of stuff taken out of our Bible, and it's a lot of bullshit added into our Bible. This is for the confusion of the true children of the Most High, which is the Negroes, the Hebrews. We are not the children of Noah, which is Shem, Ham, and Japheth. When it's explaining who Ham is, it says the progenitor of the dark races. It says not the Negroes. So if we were really if we were of Shem, then it would have said we were not the Shemites. But it didn't say that. It's telling you who we are, out plain and simple. So that's what you have to have understanding on. So you got to think every time I tell y'all, when y'all come into a contradiction in the Bible, that is of the devil. That's because he's added a lot of bullshit in there. That's Revelation 22:18. So basically, what I want to teach y'all about is Moses. So when you read in the regular 66 Bible, the book of Bibles, that it doesn't tell you why Moses has a speech impediment. But in the lost books, which I'm finna read to y'all now, that's why I urge y'all always to go on Amazon. You can find these books. You know, this book that I'm reading it's called by Dr. Edward Hammond, and it's titled The Lost Books of the Bible, The Rejected Texts, Apocrypha, which means Apocrypha means hidden, and Pseudepigrapha. Now, like I told you, they put pseudo because pseudo means false, is because they want to deteriorate, they want to push you away from reading and trying to figure out stuff. Now, not to say that it isn't stuff that's twisted in there too, because it is, but the reason his book is saying rejected text is because you got to think, if your enemy was to expose the whole truth to you, then he will have no weapon to use against you, and he uses everything that the Most High has put against you that was placed here for good. He will use it as a weapon. He placed the woman here for good, and you see Satan got a hold of Eve, and now he uses women as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? That's why women can put child support on men when the kids belong to the men. That's why a woman can do all these whole things. She can beat herself up, lie when the police get there. They gonna take you to jail for it. You always got to remember your enemy, Satan, is not finna play fair with you, and he's always gonna use everything to his advantage. So always remember that and always know that. And look, here's another example I want to show you. Even, look, when it said that when that Esau and Jacob was arguing about the birthright and he came back from the field, it never said in the Bible why, where, and why he came back from the field. Now, in these lost books, I would tell you, when he came back from the field and he was tired, is because he was trying to run for his life and save his life. He killed Nimrod. And then his two servants, he had to kill them and then get away from the rest of his servants because they had found out that he had to end up killing Nimrod, the one who built the Tower of Babel, and he was a great warrior. Nimrod was a great warrior. But it don't tell you that. It just leave it out. That's why you got to search these lost books. These camps telling you that you're not supposed to read them lost books, but if you don't read the lost books, you're going to be confused and you're not going to have no understanding of what you're reading. That's why it's in your best interest to read the lost books. And once you start reading the lost books, you could put two and two together. Now what I will do is I'm finna start from Exodus 4 and 10, and this is just in the regular Bible. So it says, and Moses said unto the Most High, O my Father, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am of slow speech and of slow tongue. Now, you got to ask yourself, why would he be of slow speech? Why would he be of slow tongue? No kid, I always understand this, bro. No child is born deformed. No Negro child, at least. Something has to have happened. So that means that either the man was corrupting his seed by snorting cocaine, doing heroin, and it really ain't even about that. It's about when it goes into the mother's room. So whatever the mother's doing at that time, if she's smoking weed, smoking crack, she eating all this horrible food, that is what's gonna make the baby fucked up. Or if she took that, which many of us took this in order to go in school, we had to take that vac, that Bill Gates shit. But I ain't talking about the Bill Gates shit that's destroying people now. I'm talking about back in the gap when you had to take it to go to school. So that's what's causing a high number of autism and so forth and so on. So when you see something like this, you're like, why was Moses like this? You know what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself that question. You can't just be like, oh, well, he was just like that. And no, something happened. So I'm reading y'all Exodus right now, 4 and 10. So he told him, the Most High told him that, I know what is what and who is what. I know your beginning and your end. So the Most High is never gonna ask you to do something if he know that if he didn't place it in you to do it. He know your beginning and your end, and Moses doesn't know his beginning and his end. So that's why he was doubting. So the Most High was like, I'm gonna put it in your mouth to be able to talk. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna go to this is in the book of Jasher. This is chapter 70. And I'm going to show y'all why Moses had a speech impediment. You see what I'm saying? So listen and learn. Okay. It says, when Moses was 3 years old, Pharaoh sat at a banquet with Alparanith, the queen at his right, and Bathia at his left. Bathia is his daughter, the one who raised Moses. And the lad Moses was laying on her bosom. Balaam, the son of Beor, with his 2 sons was there, and all the princes of the kingdom were sitting at the table in the king's presence. The lad stretched out his hand to the king's head. So Moses stretched out his hand to the king's head, and he took the crown from the king's head and placed it on his own. So that's symbolization for something, saying he gonna rule and dominate on you, but the king wasn't paying no mind to it, okay? So when the king and the princes saw what the boy had done, they were terrified. Each man expressed astonishment to his neighbor. The king said to the princes who were in front of him at the table, "Princes, what do you have to say about this? What is it to be the judgment against the boy?" Balaam, the son of Beor, the magician, understand, magicians aren't to live. Witches aren't to live. He say he suffer a witch not to live. And it's the same thing with the male. You to kill these motherfuckers because they practice witchcraft and sorcery. They are to die. So Balaam is a magician. So he peeped what was going on because he has a spirit of a demon inside him. So it says, answered the king and the princes, and he said, my lord and king, remember the dream you had a long time ago, which your servant interpreted for you. This is a Hebrew child in whom is the spirit of the Most High. And do not let my lord, the king, imagine this young one did this without knowledge. He is a Hebrew boy who has wisdom and understanding, although he is still a child. So basically Balaam, he knows, Balaam knows what's going on right now. Only, you know what I'm saying, Pharaoh didn't know. So that's why he's reiterating to him once again. He was like, the boy, he got wisdom and understanding, and he know what's going on. So it says, he has done this with wisdom and chosen the kingdom of Egypt for himself. It says, if the custom of all the Hebrews to deceive the kings and their nobles, to do all these things cunningly in order to make the kings of the earth and their men tremble. See, we are finessers like Jacob, Abraham, Isaac. All them niggas did the same thing. Abraham finessed the kings in order to keep himself from getting killed. He told him Sarah was his sister instead of his wife. Isaac did the same thing. Jacob finessed Esau. Jacob finessed Rachel's father. It's just in us to finesse. And you have to have this attribute in order to live in the kingdom of wickedness. You can't play fair with people that's wickedness, because if you do, you're going to end up getting yourself killed off. So you have to finesse these motherfuckers. You can't be cool with your enemies. You can't always tell your enemies the truth. That's just like you going in there telling your lawyer what really happened, and you know the lawyer gonna go and tell the judge what really happened, and they gonna split your money down the middle, and they gonna try to force you to pay them as much money to see how much money they can get off you to determine if they're gonna let you go free or they're gonna let you be put on probation or whatever, so forth and so on. All right? So know that. It says, surely you know that Abraham, their father, acted in this way as he deceived the army of Nimrod, the king of Babel, and Amalek, the king of Gerar, and that he got the land of the children of Heth and all the kingdoms of Canaan for himself. And he descended into Egypt and said that Sarah is his wife, and was his sister, and in order to mislead Egypt and her king, and it says his son Isaac also did this when he went to Gerar and lived there, and he prevailed over the army of Amalek, the king of the Philistines. He also thought of making the kingdom of the Philistines stumble. So this is what we put here to do. We here to make our enemies stumble. We not here to be at peace with these motherfuckers. We not here to be their friends. Nigga, light is against darkness and darkness is against light. You always got to remember this and know this. We are not friends of the world. Anybody that is not a Negro or a Hebrew, we are not they fucking friends. And if you is a Hebrew and you not keeping the commandments, we are not your friends either. This is no bias. The Most High says he love those that love him and he hate those that hate him. So in saying that, Rebekah, his wife, was his sister. Jacob also dealt finessingly with his brother and took his birthright and his blessing for him. I tell y'all this all the time. You can't take a blessing, and I'm saying bless is really a gift, but you can't take the gift from somebody who is really the seed of the chosen one. So like I tell y'all all the time, Isaac is the only and true father of Jacob. Esau is the son of Satan because Rebekah stepped out on her marriage, but they not finna put that in the Bible because they're trying to protect the woman. But a woman does treacherous shit. Like I said, Eve did the same shit, but when I teach y'all this shit, it's like it go right over your head. You know what I'm saying? So it says he went into Padan Aram, to the house of Laban, his mother's brother, and cunningly obtained his daughter, his cattle, and all belonging to him, and fled away to Canaan his father. So basically the story of Laban was on some bullshit anyways with Jacob. So Jacob, that's why Jacob started finessing him, because he told him if he worked for him for a certain amount of time, I think it was 7 years, that he would give him his daughter. Then he was trying to plot to keep Jacob there longer, and then that's when he ended up going in unto Leah, you know what I'm saying, when he really wanted Rachel. So back on this, but it says his sons sold their brother Joseph, who went down into Egypt and became a slave and was placed in a prison for 12 years, until the former Pharaoh dreamed dreams that withdrew him from prison and praised him above all the princes in Egypt due to his interpretation of dreams. When the Most High caused a famine throughout the land, he sent for his father and all his brothers and all his father's household and supported them without price or reward and bought the Egyptians for slaves. So then, my Lord King, this is Balaam talking now, this child has risen up in their place in Egypt to do what they want and to trifle with every king. See, these demons know what we here for. The demon know when you finessing. That's why he trying to warn Pharaoh. But Pharaoh, you know, the Most High got his protection on him. That's why Moses ain't dead. They know that he's a Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? And it's like to do what they wanted, to trifle with every king, prince, and judge. It says, if it pleases the king, let us now kill him, or he will grow up and take the government away from you, and the hope of Egypt will perish when he reigns. So y'all know that Egypt is another word for slavery and for bondage. So it's saying that with Moses in rule, which he did take away, like through the Most High, Moses took them and led them out of Egypt. That's why we got the Passover. He took us out of bondage. But then, and we was in the wilderness, which the wilderness is symbolization for the streets. We was in the streets. You got to understand, my nigga, if you're not working no more in this world, nobody wants to live in the streets, sleep outside, sleep in their car. So majority of people, even people listening to this, they would rather go back into bondage in slavery, meaning that's symbolization for working a job, going to work every day, listening to your slave masters, letting them treat you bad and tell you what to do. And you only sticking by this because you don't want to lose your house, you don't want to lose your car, you want to have a way to pay for food, and you want to be comfortable in your mind. So that's what that means. So, and then he telling them once again, just like this was what the Pharaoh was saying at the beginning, to kill all the male boys. That's why Moses didn't get killed, because they hid him. His mother and his father hid him. But he was saying, kill these niggas because they stronger than us and they gonna grow to outnumber us and end up dominating us. And that's what Balaam is telling Pharaoh once again. We gotta kill this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because we naturally stronger than them. We come from the Most High. Nobody is stronger than our Father. So we have powers like him. But when you put the wrong shit in your body, your body cannot be as powerful as it needs to. Your body is deteriorating every day, whether you can feel it or you don't. You understand what I'm saying? All right. So back on this. It says, Balaam continued, let us moreover call all the judges of Egypt and the wise men, and let us know if the judgment of death is due to this boy, as you did say, and then we will kill him. Pharaoh sent for all the wise men of Egypt, and they came before the king, and the angel of the Lord came among them in a disguise as one of the wise men of Egypt. When it talks about angels, that's just another word for a messenger. This ain't no spooky, mystical type shit. This is a real live angels, just like the angels that came to Lot's house. These was messengers of the Most High. And it says, the king said to the wise men, you have heard what this Hebrew boy who was in the house has done. Remember, Moses took the crown off the head of Pharaoh, and that was symbolization for a nigga. He gonna rule, dominate, and he gonna lead the chosen Hebrews out of your slavery. You know what I'm saying? And it says, and how Balaam has judged the matter. Balaam knew. Balaam is a demon. It says, now you judge too and see what it is due for the boy for the act he has committed. The angel who appeared to be one of the wise men of Pharaoh answered all the wise men of Egypt and the king and the princes, if it pleases the king, let the king send for the men who will bring in front of him an onyx stone and a coal of fire, and place them before the child. If the child will take the onyx stone, then will we know that the youth done everything deliberately, and we must kill him. But if he takes the coal, then we will know that he did this innocently, and he will live. This seemed good to the king and the princes. So the king did what the angel of the Most High said. The king ordered the onyx stone and the coal to be brought and placed in front of Moses. Now take heed, this messenger is of the Most High. So I told you the angels can transform and shapeshift. The good angels and the fallen angels, which are demons, they can shapeshift and transform. So he was able to transform himself to look like he was a Egyptian, a Hamite, shall I say. And this was only to save Moses. It says, but the angel of the Most High took his hand and placed it on the coal. The coal went out in his hand, and he lifted it up and put it in his mouth. So Moses put the coal in his mouth. And it says, and it burned part of his lips and ruined his speech. So he spoke with difficulty after that. It says, when the king and the princes saw this, they knew that Moses had not acted with wisdom in taking the crown off the king's head. So the king and the princes refrained from killing the child. Moses stayed in Pharaoh's house growing up, and the Most High was with him. While the boy was in the king's house, he was robed in purple, and he grew among the children of the king. Hold on, these fucking Moabites talking and shit. Stupid motherfuckers. Fucking annoying, bro. Satan and shit. Satan see you walking by me doing all that fucking talking. Slanty eye incest, baby. But yeah, anyways, man. It says, when Moses grew up in the king's house, Bethia, which is the daughter of Pharaoh, the daughter of Pharaoh considered him to be her son. All Pharaoh's household honored him. Honor is another word for respect. And all the men of Egypt were afraid of him. He daily went to the land of Goshen where his brothers, the children of Israel, was. So that is why Moses has a speech impediment, because Balaam knew that Moses was chosen and he was of the Most High. So he said, we're gonna try him out. We're gonna put the onyx stone in front of him, or we're gonna put the coal in front of him. And like I say, if he grabs the onyx, which onyx is something that's is valuable, like gold, because you know if you grab what's valuable, it's letting them know in symbolization that nigga, I'm the chosen one, nigga. I'm not finna choose no fucking to put my hand in shit when it's a crown. If it's a crown right here to my right and it's shit to the left, I'm gonna grab the crown because I know I'm royalty. But the angel, which is the messenger of the Most High, made that nigga Moses choose the coal and put it in his mouth. So that's why Moses had a speech impediment. But they don't put this in a regular book. That's why these camps, I tell y'all, look, listen, all these camps is fucked up and wicked. Do not be deceived. That's why the Most High tell you all the time, it's many false prophets. Many means a lot. Think, it's billions of people out here. In Exodus 26 tell you it's only thousands of people that love him. So that's why I be condemned by the world so much, because me and the world are not the same. We will never be the same. It's because they hate me and I fucking hate them with a fucking righteous, passionate hate. Do not be connected to this world. If your mother is a Hebrew Negro woman and she not in the truth, fuck her, leave her where she at. If your father ain't leading you to the truth and he a Hebrew man, fuck that nigga, let him die. Do not ruin your own soul, because it is not worth it, man. I hope y'all take this for what it is, man. I'm out, you heard me?